Hi everyone, so for Season 26 the Inner Monk has received a pretty well-deserved nerf. So as you might have seen, they have removed this Fire Ally ×5 bonus from the Bindings of the Lesser Gods braces. And I guess this doesn't really come as a surprise to anyone with how OP Inner has been, especially in Season 25. And here we are. So the expectation was that Inner is gonna end up as some, pretty good build, somewhere comfortably sitting in probably A tier, maybe even close to S tier anyway, despite the nerf. And here we are. So it turns out that Earth Ally is actually better than Water Ally and not even that far behind Fire Ally on the current live patch. So what this means that is, with the Fire Ally nerf that didn't affect any of the other runes, Earth Ally actually turns out to be the best rune to play now, apparently. So at the very least, this is what it shows on the PTR right now, and I have jumped in to try this out here. I was actually very surprised about this myself. So I expected we just go down 8 tiers from the fire nerf and we play fire anyway. But as you can see, I am demolishing this GR 130 here, and this is on my Paragon 1400 character, and this is relatively scuffed setup that I just threw together in like half an hour. So nothing really super crazy on my gear, and this definitely felt a bit better than the Fire Allies. I've done runs on both builds and I know Fire Ally inside out, so I think that I was actually doing pretty fine there. And this was literally my first run here on Earth Ally, where I did like a 9-minute clear on 130. So you have to see that first of all clears are gonna go down quite substantially in Season 26 because we don't have any power creep season this time around, like the soul shards. So everyone is just like 10 tiers weaker by default or so, plus minus. So this 130 result is actually pretty solid for a build that just got nerfed by 8 tiers on top of that. In fact, it is actually looking like probably still the best build in the game actually. So there are some other comparable clears from Wave of Light. So I think there's like 136 or something like that as like the top one clear right now. And I think the Inner Monk actually has 138 in 8 minutes, but that's at 3k Paragon. In any case, this is a very curious outcome. And one other funny thing about Earth Allies is also that, a bit similar to the God Age, we have missile dampenings, as you might have seen earlier in this clip, that actually slow down the Earth Allies. So this is a bit like the Snowball in Season 21, or like the Hanging Arrow in Season 21, where you had like missile dampeners and you did massive amounts of damage, and you can see this yellow just melt when all the Earth Allies are like just rolling on top of them. So the main issue that the Earth Allies have is not their lack of damage, it's their lack of like targeting the right enemies. So usually they just go all over the place. But if you actually stand on this yellow and you spawn new allies after 15 seconds when they despawn, here they just start rolling on top of this guy and he melts. So theoretically this can be abused, kind of similar how it was done on God Age. Probably not to the same degree, but it's definitely a kind of funny scenario that we can see here evolving yet again. This clear, by the way, was done without a conduit, so I found this one at 99%. I decided to just not click it because who cares at this point. And I wanted to see the boss damage without anything. We got Zaxxris, which is an AoE boss, but it didn't really matter with how fast it melted. So I'm not really sure what to think about this Earth Ally development, I gotta say. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Earth Allies. I think they're kind of goofy and wonky. And also, I don't know, I kind of like these like big explosions from the Fire Allies that we are used to. So I really like the Fire Ally build. That's like my own personal opinion. Maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you really like the Earth Allies, or maybe you just want to see something new. But personally, I'm a bit, I don't know, bummed out maybe that this is actually the best build on Inner right now. And I'm not sure if this is going to be the best for farming. So I've been running fire and water for farming. I don't think that much will change about that. But it seems like for pushing, you'll probably play this Earth Ally build. It essentially works almost exactly similar as the old Fire Ally build, just without these explosions, but you have these Earth Allies rolling around, and you still mostly want to press it on your convention cycle, and instead of this big pop, you have like a bit of like more fluid damage, so to say. Here's a comparison. So this was the Fire Ally run. and I've also done a 130 of this without too much trouble. So considering how I destroyed the other one with Earth Ally, I didn't expect this would be that difficult, and it also wasn't. This was also a no-corner run that I completed successfully, but I think this was 13 minutes, the other one was 9 minutes. Hard to say, like, just from one run each, like how much of a difference there is between the two builds, but I would say that Earth Ally definitely felt a bit stronger, maybe in the range of like 2 to 3 tiers more powerful than Fire, which means that if we assume the nerf on the braces to be 8 tiers, the actual nerf by switching to Earth Ally is actually more in the lines of 5 tiers nerf or so. And potentially this can be still further optimized, and we'll find some little tweaks and some little gimmicks or stuff like this missile dampening that will actually make this gap even smaller to the maybe like 4 tiers nerf or so, maybe even only 3 tiers nerf in the end. I think the difference was most noticeable on the boss fight, in fact, where usually the Earth Allies are doing a pretty good job. But in this case, I had Tethris, and later on I moved her over to a corner where she wouldn't like dash away all the time and stuff. But I think I needed like 5 rotations, so this was like close to 2 minutes boss fight, which yeah, was definitely extremely long and much more than I anticipated. So I think it might also have something to do with the size of the targets, so that the Earth Allies are actually more reliably hitting larger targets like Rift Guardians, and thus deal more damage on a single target, which might actually make it a pretty good contender for a Rift Guardian killer as well in Season 26. Right now, that role will most likely go to Witch Doctor, where namely LOD spiders or Arachir spiders. So we're not 100% sure yet on which one is actually the stronger one, but maybe we'll still see the Inner Monk with this new Earth Ally build unless something has changed about it. Now, I'm not 100% sure if Blizzard intended this. I guess no one really thought about the Earth Ally very much. Personally, I haven't either, until we actually saw it on the PTR now and people are doing Earth Ally all over the place. And here we are. So it could happen that this might get tweaked further, but I don't know, what's your opinion? Definitely quite curious. I will also try to investigate this further with like farming builds, and I also did a bit of Echoing Nightmares. I got to like wave 177 or so, so quite good result for sure. But I also did a very similar like 175 or something with Fire. So that always depends a bit on the RNG and the wave and the arena that you're facing in the end. But they definitely seem both quite powerful, with Earth Ally winning out a little bit. So this is what I have to share here for now. Let me know what you think. So maybe you like this change a lot, or maybe there's some other stuff that you might want to see. Just share your thoughts, and hope you liked this little video. See you guys next time.